All right. So here are some yoga type options that you might do when you are traveling. Generally, when we're traveling, we sit a lot. And so being able to get some circulation down through your legs, get a little movement through your back, will help relieve some of the tension and perhaps some of the swelling you might get when you're traveling. So, my first one is as you're standing. So, whatever kind of situation you're in, whenever you can stand, when you have just enough room for your body to stand, simple one is our little baby squats. All you're doing is bending both knees and then straightening your legs. When you straighten your legs, you're clenching your glutes. I'll give you the side view. Again, it's just that little bend and then straighten and clench. When you do this, we're just getting some movement through the ankles, the knees, and the hips. And then if you want to get fancy, you can stay in that little baby squat. You can think about just lifting one heel and setting it down, lifting the other heel and setting it down. Again, just to get a little circulation, just to get a little movement down through your legs. So another one that I like to do, and this is when you can do standing, you can do seated, whatever kind of situation you have yourself in, is a little cat cow type action. So if you're standing, you bend your knees, hands on your thighs, pulling your belly button in, rounding your back, and then think tall, pulling your shoulder blades back and down. So each time you exhale, you're really kind of tucking your tailbone a little bit. And then when you inhale, you can stick your tailbone out, but really opening up through your chest. And again, just using your breath. It's lovely if you're in a seated position. Whatever seated position you're in, you can do this and just get a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of movement. Okay, so the next one, it's hard to see, but again, this is one that I like if you're stuck sitting for a long period of time, and it's just to activate the glutes. So I'm going to use my hands to give you a little bit bigger visual. But essentially, as you inhale, you're slowly contracting both butt cheeks. As you exhale, slowly releasing, just finding that little bit of action. And the big thing is to find some control. So you're not just on and off all the time, but slowly making that a little bit stronger and then slowly releasing because that just takes a little bit extra effort. And then to get fancy, you can start with both butt cheeks clenched and then just relax one side, coming back to both butt cheeks clenched and then relaxing the other side. And try and be even, releasing both at the same time after you've completed both sides equally. Very simple. So another one you could do seated. This one's a little tricky to do if you're packed into an airplane, if you're too close to the people around you. And definitely don't do this one if you're physically driving. If you are the driver, don't do this. But it's a little twist. And then all you have to do is you take both hands to the outside of one leg. And I encourage you to take a couple of breaths with this. So every time you inhale, you think about getting taller, lengthening your spine. And then as you exhale, you make the twist a little bigger. So I'm twisting to the left, twisting my shoulders left. When I inhale, I'm getting taller. So now I'm twisting my shoulders and my chin to the left. And then inhale, getting taller. And then twisting my shoulders, my chin, even looking out of the left corners of my eyes. Now you can hold your shoulders in this position and just turn your chin the opposite direction to get a little bit different stretch, looking out the opposite corners of your eyes, and then return to that original direction and then come back. So the nice thing about this twist is you can make it as long as you need, but it's pretty small. Just getting both hands to the outside of one leg, leading with your shoulders, and then every time you inhale, you think, I'm going to get tall, I'm going to make space between every joint of my spine. And then adding that chin turn, getting tall, adding your eye turn, and then turning your chin the opposite direction and returning to that original direction, and then coming back to the center. And the other one you might be able to do, depending on how much space you have, you can bring your hands forward over your legs, whatever position your legs are in. Now, if there's a seat right in front of you and you can't really get your head forward too much, you can always just do that little cat cow again after your twist to kind of get that even stretch along your back. So there's just a little handful of things that you might do in a confined space that will help you wiggle out any tension and maybe get a little bit of more space in your body. At the end of your travels, this one's harder to do when you're in whatever vehicle you're traveling in, but getting your legs up the wall will be very helpful. And when you get your legs up the wall, you, you can do this in a bed if there's room above the headboard. You could even do this on the floor with your legs on a chair. So I've been known to do this in an airport where I can elevate my legs up a wall or let my feet rest on the seat of a chair. When we do this, it just brings all that lymph, all that fluid from your feet down your legs to your hips. It's a nice support for your back. And you can just take a nap here, really. Um, or if you're getting really fancy, you can wiggle your legs around, crank your feet around in circles just to get that little bit of circulation. So if you've noticed that your legs are swelling from your travels, that's a good way to get everything to move back to be a little bit more neutral. All right. Thanks so much for playing. Happy travels.